Ribbon Country Forum today being brought to you by the good folks at the Dana Law Group, also Sunshine Cleaning and Restoration, At Your Service Cleaning and Tree Service, Hospitality Wireless, Anytime Fitness, and Choice Auto and Truck. Well, you know what comes next on Friday mornings here, don't you? You guessed it. It's Friday morning and it's time to talk to your hometown movie guys. Tina, Craig, and Andy with us in the studio this morning to tell us everything about what's going on at the Sawmill Theaters and ever so much more. And first of all, good morning. How y'all doing this morning?
Good morning. My chakras and I are all here.
Just like, maybe I should turn your microphone on. That might help. How you doing this morning?
My chakras and I are all here.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
all chakras are all here, all in their places with bright shining whatever chakras
Yes,
have.
yes, glowing faces.
Glowing faces.
Yeah.
All right. Andy, how are you?
Oh, I'm just great. I tell you the truth, I'm sick to death of being cold. This is Arizona. I should be warm and toasty and not suffering from chills.
Well, the good news is
Ditto.
today's high expected to be 50 degrees. Tomorrow's high here in Payson expected to be 60 degrees.
Oh, yay!
Oh, it's the banana
Oh,
belt.
Randy, you are absolutely the best. Thank you, thank you,
Oh,
thank you.
Did you make
Ask
this
and
happen?
ye shall receive. Pardon me?
Oh, you made this happen.
I did. And if you believe that, I have some swampland in Idaho for you.
Swampland and Tonto Basin.
Hey, before we get started on what all's going on at Sawmill Theaters, we have a caller on the line, so I guess we should just get right to the phones. 5.5 minutes past 9
Who
o'clock.
is it? Who is
Hi,
it?
you're on Ribbon Country Forum. Good morning.
Yeah, you know what, we actually, that one came out a while ago, but we are going to be doing that as a part of our faith-based film festival.
Right.
So that would be January 21st. It'll be on a Saturday morning. We're just going to do the one show, but Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, it'll be that third Saturday of the month, which is, somewhere in there around the 20th. It'll just be $5 in.
All right, very cool. So Unplanned coming later this month
Yep.
to the Sawmill Theaters.
Yep.
What's that movie about?
And
Andy?
Bill, I expect you to be there.
Yeah, there you go. Give us the 30-second elevator pitch. What's the movie about?
An unexpected pregnancy. Unplanned for pregnancy.
Unplanned.
Yeah, but it's not January 21st, because that's a Tuesday.
The 20th.
I think it's what, the 25th? No.
What year is your calendar?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
Gosh,
18th,
I'm
maybe?
sorry. I'm beat up.
Are you back in 2019 still?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
5th, 12th, 19th?
Let's see, the fourth Saturday is...
Carry the one.
Shut up. I'm an English teacher, you do the math.
All right.
Who's on for the third half hour?
Hey, while we're busily researching when the movie Unplanned will be on, we're going to find out a little bit more about it in our second half hour this morning on Ribbon Country Forum, because the folks from the Crisis Pregnancy Center
the
are gonna be with us,
18th, guys.
It's the 18th. Okay.
It's the 18th.
And something tells me that
It's the 18th.
New Beginnings Crisis Pregnancy Center is going to be sharing a little bit of information about
Yes.
that in the second half hour.
It's the 18th.
Oh,
18th.
maybe they'll plug the movie.
I'm kind of guessing that
Yay.
might be the case.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll find out more about that coming up in a little bit. But right now, talking about
Randy, so far we are 100% perfect record with availing our phone-ins to actually speak on the air.
Yeah, but it's still early in the hour. Hey,
End of the year.
There you go.
We challenge you.
Hey, one of the things that has become quite the hit at Sawmill Theaters is their Saturday morning classic movie, the first Saturday of the month. And tomorrow, of course, is the first Saturday of the month, the first Saturday of the year, the first Saturday of the decade. And the Sawmill Theaters tomorrow will be featuring Amadeus, the story about Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart.
Mozart, yes, set in the second half of the 18th century
Right?
in Vienna.
Yes.
I love that movie. I thought it was great. I mean, Mozart had certainly let's just say, a colorful life. But I mean, quite the genius prodigy, musically speaking.
This was 1984, won 8 Academy Awards, including Best Picture.
Was it 84? Is it really
Yes.
that old?
Yep,
Yeah,
1984.
I know.
Just yesterday.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
And that'll be being played tomorrow morning. Starts at 9:30. You get in for just $5, and it's all about the life, success, and troubles of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. And a lot of great music and pretty interesting storyline all the way around. I thought that was an Academy Award winner, was it?
Oh, yeah.
Big time, multiple.
Well, multiple, yeah.
Yeah.
And, you definitely got the the costumes and everything, and,
Right.
and, you know, the sets, and, yeah, visually stunning, and a great story too.
Yeah, and good music.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
the best.
Gotta love it. Well, some other great movies that are playing, the first that is playing,
Real quick, this is gonna be 9:30 tomorrow too.
9:30.
9:30 a.m., yes,
9:30.
so a little bit earlier,
It's
it's,
a long movie.
2 hours and 40 minutes, I think, so.
Right. Very cool. So get on out there early, and even, with it being kind of chilly in the morning, it's a nice place to go inside, get warmed up, and enjoy a great movie with great music and great costumes and all kinds of good stuff at the Sawmill Theaters. Well, another one that is playing right now at the Sawmill Theaters that actually is getting some Academy Award buzz, as I've heard, is the movie Little Women. It's about four sisters come of age in America in the aftermath of the Civil War. It's rated PG, plays at 1, 4, and 7. And Andy, you had a review on this in today's Pace and Roundup, did you not?
In today's Pace and Roundup, yes indeed.
And what'd you think?
I liked it.
Is that right? How many saw blades you throw at it?
4.
4, all right. And would you agree that this is Academy Award worthy?
Yes, I think this might very well get Best Director.
Really? Anything else other than Best Director?
Probably not. I mean, it should get a nomination, Best Actress for,
Yes.
and I'll let Tina pronounce this
I
girl's name.
can't. You mean Joe, the gal who plays Joe? Oh, she
Yeah.
is wonderful. Her name is spelled as if it would be pronounced Siobhan, Ronan. However, my husband says it's something like Shona. I mean, Gaelic, go
And
figure.
it's
Yeah.
spelled Cinnabon? What do
No,
you
it's
say?
Siobahn, I think, and
That
it's.
sounds like
I don't know, but she
cinnamon.
smells good.
Yeah, but I mean, it's pronounced in some Gaelic, completely non-phonetic way. Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting.
But she's very, very good.
Yes.
And we were talking off the air about some foolish person's opinions of best movies of the decade. And the same actress that we can't pronounce, somebody Ronan, Cinnabon Ronan. Let's go
I
with
think
that.
I had one of those at the airport when I was there last time.
Let's go with that. But she played in one of the movies that was mentioned, Lady Bird.
Oh,
Yeah, she's absolutely smashing young actress. She's very, very good.
and we're referring to an article in the Arizona Republic where they were talking about the top 10 movies of the past decade, and basically I think we don't agree with any of them. We'll talk more about that next week when we have a little more time. Another movie that here's my cheap excuse. I was going to go on New Year's Eve to come down to see Star Wars.
There it is again, yeah.
And Channel 3 called and they were sending up some reporters. They did an interview about some things that I've been doing, and so I didn't get down there, but I'm wanting to do that. We're going to talk about Star Wars here in just a second. But in trying to keep with our so far stellar track record of answering every phone call that comes in, let's go to the phones. Hi, you're on Rim Country Forum. Good morning. Well, so much for that record. All right.
Boy, that didn't take long.
It doesn't take long to mess that one up.
Wow.
So
A
now,
whole decade just shot to bits here.
Star
9 minutes.
That's right. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker plays at 1, 4:15, and 7:30, and all times are playing in both 2D and 3D. So you have this showing in 2 different theaters, right?
Yes, yeah.
And how's this been doing locally?
Oh, it's done great.
And have been setting some big box office records globally as well, haven't they?
Well, not records. Not
Oh, really?
records. I guess as a Star Wars film goes, this one may be a little bit off.
Huh.
I mean, it's up over $1 billion, but.
Oh gosh, only a
Yeah,
billion.
yeah, like I said,
Shucky
that's how
darn.
Disney has kind of a different criteria for films than the rest of the normal world.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's done really good still, and this is kind of the conclusion of the 9 episodes, and I really liked it.
Very interesting. And now, Andy, you did a review on this one already, didn't you? And what was your opinion?
I liked it.
In 3 words?
Yeah. No, I thought this was a well thought through completion to this enormous 40-year movie series.
I'm still baffled that Lucas could think up 9 different, movies back in the 70s and it takes 40 years to finally come to the conclusion. We posted up on our Facebook page here recently a picture from 1977 of people waiting in line to go in and see the original Star Wars movie, and it's the headline above it was something to the effect of, "Here's your grandparents waiting in line to see the first Star Wars," and I started looking at it, it's like, it really was what I looked like.
Oh, that's great.
Give in to the dark side.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was,
and-
everybody's wearing bell bottoms and everything. It's like, it's very cool. I miss bell bottoms.
And you mentioned Lucas and what an imagination he has.
Truly.
If you kind of think of me standing next to Shaquille O'Neal, okay, well, he's really tall.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, and Lucas is really smart.
This is getting really deep. Just
But-
let the Wookiee win,
But that's how he can do that.
right?
He's just an enormously talented person, and not, well, we got the thing coming up tomorrow with Amadeus. There are people in the world, they pass through and they leave a mark.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And we're pleased that they do.
I mean, 40 years of big box office smashes, basically, I think by anybody's standards, with the exception of perhaps Disney. But I mean, it's been a pretty epic run. This particular one, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, The Surviving Resistance, faces the First Order once more in the final chapter of the Skywalker saga.
This is the last of the first.
All right, yeah, that too boggles my wee little mind, both of the working brain cells that I still have left. Happy ending?
I can't tell you because I don't want to spoil everything.
Did
but
the butler do it?
I have to say that it's a lovely completion to the nine movie series.
Very cool.
It does, it comes back around to that first one, 41 years ago now.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it really brings it together well.
Yeah, and you mentioned, of course, the wonderful scene in the first Star Wars movie where you get the line, "Let the Wookiee win."
Right.
Well, there's a scene in this movie where the Wookiee is playing the space chess, I guess, I don't know what to call it.
Right.
And, with another guy, and his friend says, "Well, he always wins because he cheats." And he says, "No, he doesn't cheat. He's 250 years old. He's played this a lot."
Can someone get this walking carpet out of my way? Anyway, another movie from way back. Another line from the movie way back. Anyway, we got to take a fast break. We're going to come back, find out what else is playing at the Sawmill Theaters. If you have a question or a comment, give us a ring, 474-2427, and we'll try and answer your call in a timely manner.
A listener tells us about her experience with hospitality.
All right, Spies in Disguise.
Cable and satellite
How's that been doing?
service.
It's a kid movie.
Yeah, that's it.
An animated kid movie.
And the trailer for Cats looks really interesting. But I keep hearing that, I mean, they spent a lot of money and they're not making much.
I think they did the digital fur thing that they did with it. It just makes it look weird. Kind of creepy. It's just, it is, like, it looks a little creepy. I mean, whatever's going on in the film, the music and singing and stuff is, I mean, a great cast and everything, but it just looks weird.
Cats? There's a couple of the reviews that I've read, there's a lot of hairball and cat box jokes.
It's very sad. I mean, but Jennifer Hudson,
What an amazing set of
and
lines.
listen to that, but I'm sorry, I mean, I wanted to like it. I liked Love Ballet, the ballet dancer was good, but the shots of the dance were lousy again, they cut. It's like, let us watch her, you want us to watch her. You need to go back to the old musicals of the 50s and the 40s and see how to feel dance. That's been my,
One shot.
yeah, or a slow tracking shot, I mean, but cutting is just,
Not snipping it up.
Welcome back to Rim Country Forum, 19 minutes past 9 o'clock, 37 degrees to the phones we go. Hi, you're on Rim Country Forum, good morning. And to you too, thank you.
On your raving about Little Women. But
Good, don't.
when I went, and further, so it's harder for us to hear but hard to see.
Right. Yeah.
I have to second
Well,
that. That
I know
was-
doing too many shots can be real confusing.
No, I have to second that. I wanted to like it better than I did,
Mhm.
even though I was quite moved by parts of it. But I agree with the caller. Flashbacks and flash forwards are fine, but it became very confusing, very disjointed, because every time there was a change of scene, and then if it was a flashback, you had to kind of reorient yourself, like, oh, this is not a continuation of what just happened.
Right.
This is a flashback. And then my also quibble with it was I read the original book. I believe I read it in middle school, and I've read it several times. And there was no or very little reference to their religious beliefs, which were very devout. There was a lot of reference to God. And
In the book, but not in the movie.
Yes, and it became a little bit more PC feminist in the movie. I mean, there was, I did enjoy it. The lead actress is wonderful, but I agree with the caller about that confusing. The shots
Right.
were just confusing.
Well, one of the points that she made too, and I have not seen this movie, but I know that I have seen a couple of movies where it seemed like they needed to open the f-stop on the camera just a little bit more. That everything was dark. Now, Andy, you saw the movie. You liked it. I mean, did it seem a little too dark to you, or?
I didn't notice that, but that's a valid criticism. Sometimes that happens.
Interesting.
And
Interesting.
I've seen so many abysmal movies that I tend to give them if they're not really horrible.
Well, the critics seem to be liking Little Women anyway. I mean, from what I've heard.
Oh, the other critics.
Yeah, I mean, the real ones.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
Dumb.
boy.
No, this one's at a 91 on Metacritic.
91.
91, yes,
Wow.
yeah.
They
One of the-
don't
one of the
give
better-
those numbers out very often.
No, one of the better reviewed films of the year,
Wow.
for sure.
Interesting. Thanks for the phone call. We definitely appreciate it. And again, we talked about Amadeus playing at the Classic Movie Saturday tomorrow morning at 9:30. Little Women playing Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Another one that's great for the kids, rated PG, plays at 1, 4, and 7, is an animated feature, Spies in Disguise. When the world's best spy is turned into a pigeon, he must rely on his nerdy tech officer to save the world. That's deep.
There's a joke in there.
Yeah, a couple of one-liners too.
Rats with wings.
That's the one I'll be seeing today.
Is that right? You want to
Yeah.
see Spies in Disguise?
Yeah, well, I've seen all the other ones, so.
Yeah. Now, is this a Pixar or who does this one?
No, it's not Pixar. I think it's Fox Searchlight?
Well, Fox, yeah, Fox,
Oh,
Disney, Fox,
Okay.
Disney.
Oh, so it is a Disney.
Well, it's yeah,
Fox,
Very
Disney
cool.
merger thing. so-
yeah. It's Disney because they just bought Fox.
Right.
And the thing that I'm looking forward to is Karen Gillian is one of the voice actresses for this, and she's also currently playing in Jumanji.
Oh, okay.
So this happens sometimes where we have an actor that'll be in a Sawmill Theater in two different movies at the same time.
And Jumanji is another movie that's playing right now. It's rated PG-13, plays at 1:15, 4:15, and 7:15. A team of friends return to Jumanji to rescue one of their own, but discover that nothing is as they expect. This is the next level or the next chapter of the Jumanji saga of people getting sucked into a video game, and suddenly you have different people inside different characters. I mean, the first one, I mean, there was girls that became guys in the video game and stuff like that. It was kind of funny how they played it all.
Oh, yeah, well, this is Danny DeVito being pulled into Dwayne Johnson's body.
The Rock.
Yes, yeah. So
I mean,
you got,
Danny DeVito is The Rock. That in and of itself is going to be hilarious.
He's the pebble.
Yeah, yeah. No, this one's done really good. Actually, it's been out selling Star Wars here a couple days.
Wow.
Those two are going back and forth.
So, I mean, just a good, if you want a good gut-busting comedy, this is the
yeah.
one to go see.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Good stuff.
All right, I love it. I love a good comedy. And now, rounding out what's playing at the Sawmill Theaters right now, something that I've seen getting some mixed reviews. They haven't really been getting quite the box office response that I think many had expected, and that's Cats, a tribe of cats called the Jelsies. Must decide yearly which one will ascend to the heaven-side layer and come back as a new Jelsie or jealousy.
Jellicoe.
Jellicoe, I think.
Really?
Yep.
Well,
Okay. Maybe
Jellicoe.
Must have some.
Jellicoe
Must
cat.
have some typer.
It's
typers
actually
in here.
from a poem by
Right.
W.H. Auden, whom those of us, who studied classic literature in
Right.
school.
I know how to spell classic literature.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you, I'll start out with the good part. Jennifer Hudson.
Oh,
boy.
She's fabulous.
She's got some lungs.
She's absolutely fabulous and sings, what is it, Midnight?
Memories.
Memories.
One of those
At
memories.
midnight, because they're cats.
Sure.
But there's also a wonderful dancer who is kind of the lead ingenue, young, she's
Kitten.
beautiful. She's absolutely beautiful. And again, in modern filming of dance, I have a quibble. If one goes back to the 40s and the 50s of the great musicals, which were, full of dance and full of absolutely spectacular dance filming, those old guys knew how to film dance. They would
Right.
leave the camera steady, or if there was motion, they would track very slowly, very, very languorously around the dancers. Modern directors either don't know how or don't want to know how
Do
to
you think
film dance.
maybe part of the problem that you and others might have with it is the fact that this was a big Broadway smash musical that people were used to seeing just on the stage, where you're just watching the stage production, and now it's being cut up by the different camera angles?
Well, yes, I could have that problem, but I could also say they really don't know how to film dance. They cut, chop, they move the camera around suddenly. You're just getting into watching her put these beautiful body moves together, and zappo, you're up in the rafters, or I wanted to jump up and say, stop, let us watch her. And they won't. So I'm sorry, I fell asleep several times.
Huh.
Yeah.
There was a good tap number on the.
Oh, there
railroad.
was a great tap number. Yeah, there's some real good dance in it, but you don't get to see it the way you should.
And what I took away from it is you have this absolutely spectacular song by Jennifer Hudson, which is kind of the centerpiece of the movie.
Right.
And what other memorable song is
No,
there?
no.
Well, they're not.
No.
And that's a big problem in a musical.
It is.
One of the things I thought was kind of interesting is I was watching a little bit of a news bit on the movie where they talked about everyone that was in the movie had to go to cat school to learn some of the cat-like mannerisms that were that they featured. Now that was, and to go to school to learn how to act like a cat.
Well, and really, if you deconstruct it into those bits of, yes, did they move like cats? Did they do a good job? The costume's great, and it's just I wanted to like it, and I didn't.
Also, the tails
Big
were
question,
handled the way.
Craig, is how's it been doing at the box office here?
Yeah, pretty so-so.
Oh, okay.
It's just to me, I think, they used digital fur. They didn't actually put him in a cat outfit. They just, afterwards, they added it digitally. And it just has kind of a weird look. And I think that's part of the problem with the film, too. It's almost a little bit creepy. It just, sometimes when you catch these things and, your eye picks up on it, and you can tell it's not real, and it just gives you kind of a weird feeling. And it just, I I think that's some of it too, it's kind of.
They should have just stuck with the
That's a
same
good
kind
description, I
of,
agree with Craig.
should have just stuck with the same costumes that they use in the Broadway musical.
Yeah, sure, yes, yeah, I think that would have, probably helped.
I think Craig is right in the effort to make it, really spectacularly, gosh, look at that person who's really morphing into a cat. The mind that picks up on these false, even
Yeah,
maybe you're not
yeah.
realizing it, but you're a
Yeah,
little
exactly.
uneasy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, we have to take a break, and when we come back, we are going to talk a little bit more about that movie we mentioned earlier, because folks from New Beginnings are going to be with us on the second half of the show today, so make sure you stick around for that. Again, if you, anytime you want to find out what's playing at the Sawmill Theaters, just log on to sawmilltheaters.com or call 928-595-0876. And thanks to our movie guys for being here. Next week, we're going to be talking about the top 10 or top your favorite movies of the last decade. And we'll be touching with that. But Andy, you got something else you want to add?
Yeah, well, two movies that we'll need to talk about next time are one called Niza and another one called Wandering Earth.
Niza. Hmm.
He's very esoteric. Remember, that's the word of the day.
Ah, yes.
Oh.
Deja vu. Okay. Hey, 30 minutes past the hour. We'll be back with more right after these words.